15 minutes of racing about to get underway for the MX5 Cup. Watch for the red lights to go on, which they do, and they go out now, and it's a pretty good start by Ben Hansey there from the outside of the front row of the grid. But Jordan Johnson is with his nose in front as they head down towards Clervaux Corner for the first time. Hansey into second, and it's Oak Richardson in the 17 car in third. One or two cars going wide through the gravel trap. Wouldn't be an MX5 race without some of them doing that, I don't suppose, on the first lap at Croft. But I think they've all got through Clervaux and Hawthorne safely. So it is Jordan Johnson from pole position that's got the lead of this race at the moment. Then the grey car with Ben Hansey in second. There you can see the familiar car of Scott Leach, number 13, in fourth place. But it's 2 for the lead, and it's looking like a good one, this, Josh.
Yeah, you've got plenty of cars lining up there behind the race leader, Jordan Johnson, who turns his way through yet, or just once time a race winner here, ahead of a multiple champion, Ben Hansey, and then Oak Richardson, who's pretty new to racing. They're in P3, been racing Mazdas for the last few years. I think it's a new build for him. And 6, 7 cars, I think, in a line with a novice cross on the car at the back of the leading queue, as they turn their way towards the end of the first lap of what we're expecting to be a 15-minute race. But it is Jordan Johnson, who had so many battles with Ben Hansey, usually for third position last year. But this year, without Ben Short and Ben Abbott racing today, it's a new complexion at the front of the field. And again, it's still those 7 cars that are right together. So it's Johnson from Hansey, from Richardson, and Leach, Tomlinson, Ian Tomlinson in 5th. 6th is Thomas Holland, and then the driver of the novice cross there in 7th is Martin Vernon. A really good start from him up into the 7th position then for the driver who only started racing at the end of last year.
Yep, so a good fight in prospect here between Jordan Johnson and Ben Hansey. We did see the reigning and multiple champion Ben Short on the entry list, but he's not actually racing in the MX5 Cup this weekend. I think he's going to be out in Club Enduro tomorrow, but not racing today, which in a way makes the racing a lot more wide open, doesn't it? Ben Hansey, in that car that's been run by BS Motorsport for a while now, is there in second place, and I thought he was going to challenge Jordan Johnson for the lead down into Tower Corner, but in the end he just took back in behind him. You can see another of the BS Motorsport cars there, the red car with the white checkered design on it, number 230 Tom Holland. He's there in 6th position at the moment.
I wonder if Ben Hansey is happy at this point just to follow Jordan Johnson and let them try and breathe away from the rest, and then battle towards the end. Oak Richardson's pretty quick. He's been a front runner when he's appeared in these races in the past. But there is Jordan Johnson then leading the way, the driver from Gloucester, ahead of Ben Hansey. And battles just behind this front group as well, which looks pretty good. But there's Oak Richardson in this, I think, the new car for this season. Certainly a new livery on that. And yeah, he's keeping up pretty much with Ben Hansey at this stage. And then Scott Leach in 4th, as you say, and he's been racing MX5s for a very long time now.
Pretty much since Alan Robson first created MX5 racing, probably getting on for 20 years ago now, that must be, I would think. The MX5 racing was created. Of course, it's Alan Robson that's behind the MX5 Cup as well. We're watching the battle for 5th here. Number 9, Ian Tomlinson, and number 230, Tom Holland. Ian Tomlinson, another long-time campaigner in MX5. So those two falling a little bit back from the leading quartet, though. Here they come towards us. Ian Tomlinson, number 9 from Blackpool, heading towards us. Is he going to be able to fend off Tom Holland in the 230 car here? Yeah, he is into Tower that time. They've got Martin Vernon behind, then Matthew Pennefather-Neal in 8th place, number 21 at the moment. There's the two leaders going through the Jim Clark S's. Still, Hans just seemingly content to follow Jordan Johnson around at the moment. Of course, it was these two drivers who had a sort of effectively a dead heat finish at Brands Hatch on one occasion a few years ago. I think it was Johnson that got the nod on that occasion. But we'll continue to watch this battle for 5th, Josh.
Yeah, it's actually Ian Tomlinson and Tom Holland. As you say, they've dropped a little way behind Tomlinson there in 5th. Not far behind him is his mate Martin Vernon, who's having a good run. But is Vernon going to lose P7 there? Because Matthew Neal was challenging as they turned their way through. No, Martin Vernon hangs on in the other practical liveried car in 7th position. And there then is Ian Tomlinson. He runs out wide. So Thomas Holland is going to try and challenge, but doesn't quite get the momentum he was looking for, I don't think, as they head up across the line for the 3rd time, where we saw Jordan Johnson and Oak Richardson equal fastest laps on 1 minute 40.63 that time through. So it's free for the lead. Scott Leach has dropped away a little bit. And then this is the battle for 5th place. Tomlinson versus Holland.
Yeah, and these two were 6th and 7th in the championship last year. Tomlinson 6th and Holland in 7th position. So they're usually there or thereabouts in the order.
3 abreast behind them. Because Matthew Neal did just get ahead of Martin Vernon, then run out wide, and that's allowed Christian Young to just look in the background as we watch this battle here. Christian Young gained 2 positions, but this is the battle for 5th place, which is pretty decent. They're the leaders, and Ben Hanchy is as close to the rear bumper of Jordan Johnson as he has been for some while. For 5th, it's side by side through the S's, and Tom Holland goes through, does he? Yes, just about. So that's a pretty bold move. I'd imagine you're pretty much flat out through there in these cars, and Tom Holland then goes through into 5th position. But there in 7th is Christian Young, who gained those 2 positions at the first part of the lap there, completing the top 10 is 32. Jake Mickelwright, who's just got himself up ahead of Adrian Johnson, and follow him through is Matthew Short there, I think. So Matthew Short gains a position as well as we come to the end of lap 4 of this race. A great battles here all the way through the pack.
Yeah, there are, as is the case on most occasions with MX5 racing. Now, the 2 protagonists at the front, well, 3 of them, because Oak Richardson's with them, but Ben Hancey in 2nd, Jordan Johnson 1st. Neither of them won a race last season. They were 3rd and 4th in the championship. Hancey 3rd and Johnson 4th. They both had 3 second place finishes during the course of the season, but Hancey had more podiums, with 9 podiums altogether compared to Johnson. So either one of them would be delighted to get a win here, but can Oak Richardson there in 3rd place, just tracking them now, do anything about them? Hancey actually did the best lap of the race on the previous lap, a 1:40.57, it's about 1.12 seconds outside Ben Short's lap record from 12 months ago. Down to Tower they go once again. Scott Leach just not quite able to live with them, but equally not too far off the pace. And Tom Holland and Ian Tomlinson side by side again. So Holland was in the lead of this battle, 5th overall as they crossed the line to start the lap, but Tomlinson trying to find his way back through. There's about 4 seconds or so then back to Christian Young, who heads the next group. Leaders still pushing on though. Hancey in the white number 40 car is livery that's been racing for a long time. He's almost got an overlap there on Johnson through the first part of Sunny, now through the second part of that sequence, and no change there for the moment. We've already had more than half of this race, less than 7 minutes to go now, Josh.
Yes, and now into the second half. Is Ben Hancey going to get a bit more racy about challenging the race leader Jordan Johnson, or has Johnson got some sort of control to the lead? For 5th, Tom Holland did hang on in there. His tight battle with Ian Tomlinson. They turn up then to the final bend. Through the hairpin they go with 2:30, the BS Motorsport car, Ben Short Motorsport car of Tom Holland. Look back to the battle here out of the hairpin, because that's pretty tight. And at the front of it then you've got Matthew Neal in 21. He's got himself up into 8th position ahead of Martin Vernon. And then just behind the pair of them, you've got, I think, Matthew Short, Adrian Johnson and Mary Barnard. As wide, there goes Vernon. So he was a driver who made such a good start, but he's starting to drop back now. As I say, novice driver really, rookie driver, and he's got some quite experienced races around him. Side by side with the S's, yeah, he doesn't want to do that, so he backs out of it through the chicane there, and he's going to lose, I think, a number of positions and drop to the back of the pack.
Yeah, good to see Mary Barnard there in the scrap as well, in the 29 car. That's the red car. She said, I think, words to the effect that if she was in the top 10 at any point, that would have been out of the world. Well, she qualified 9th, and she's looking on course for top 15 finish here, which is really what she was hoping for during the course of this race. So good to see Mary develop as she gets more and more experience in these MX5s. Sweeping their way through the Jim Clark S's once again. That's the 21 car, Matthew Pennefather. He's in 9th position at the moment. Or no, he's a little bit further back from that now, isn't he?
I think Matthew Short's got ahead,
Yeah.
so Short got past Vernon, and now it's got past Neil as well. On the previous lap, they were both passed by Jake Micklewright, who you can see there just ahead of them in 32. So he's up into 8th position. He's where he started, but he didn't make a very good start, dropped back, and he's worked his way back into the position where he started. There's Matthew Short. He's been working his way through the order because he only qualified 13th. He's up into 9th position now, is Matthew Short from Wiltshire. He's a very experienced racer, started in MGs before moving into Mazdas, and he then makes his way down here into Clairvaux for the 7th time of asking. They hop through that corner, and then they turn their way through the right-hander at Hawthorne Bend.
Just worth mentioning, we've got Martina Ward out there. She's running in 20th position at the moment, but it's her first ever race. It's a rookie season, 35 years of age. She's her faster half, David, she says, completes in time attack, and she's made the journey from sim racing to real world racing, and I'm sure it'll be fascinating to hear her journey. One of the Ben Short higher cars. That's the 27th half, David Brown, we just saw going through shot there, the blue car. And he's about to come towards us again, so he's just behind Barnard, I think, isn't he? Yeah, in 14th position, Barnard in 13th place at the moment.
Leaders pretty close again. Just out the window. They've dropped Oak Richardson now, Jordan Johnson and Ben Hansey. Still Johnson ahead. There's going to be 2 laps to go, all being well, as they cross the line. And a car length at the most is all that separates them. You can see them on the screen now. So they head up towards turn 1, and Hansey using the toe to get closer and closer to Jordan Johnson, but Johnson's hanging on in a position he hasn't spent much time, has he? He's normally been attacking people in previous seasons. This year he's had a car filling his mirrors, but Jordan Johnson at the moment's been doing a good job keeping Ben Hansey at bay. You can see there the gap they've pulled out to Oak Richardson. On the last lap, Hansey did the best lap, a 1:40.33, so they're getting quicker as the fuel load comes down. But we haven't seen a real challenge yet from Ben Hansey. Johnson was quick there through the chicane and just put a little bit of daylight between himself and the chasing car.
Johnson Thursday doing a good job, 31 years of age, a HGV technician. 4 years he's been racing in Fife Club. And the car run these days by himself and his father Adrian, who also races. Originally his dad's car, actually, this one. And he's also done a little bit of racing on ovals in Legends as well. But, Johnson doing a very good job here of keeping Ben Hansey at bay. Ben with lots of experience and championships to his name as well. And they've both just eased away from Oak Richardson again over the last lap or two. Now, how are we doing for time? About a minute and 3/4 to go, so I think we'll be going on to the final lap here at the end of this one. And you wouldn't be surprised if Ben Hansey had something up his sleeve here to try and surprise Jordan Johnson on the final lap. Last lap board is going out, I can see. So the two of them separated as they go on to the final lap by 0.4 of a second. And yeah, the gap back to third place is now about 2 seconds, Josh.
Yeah, so Ben Hansey's not got to worry about what's behind him. Tower Bend is surely the best option here for the double champion. Oh, it's Matthew Short's had a moment at the final corner, so that's going to drop him out of 9th position. But let's watch the battle for the lead, because Hansey has got a good run. He's right there with Johnson, who defends massively. And Hansey was going to try and go at the inside. There was no room there, and that, I think it was only one move across the circuit from Jordan Johnson, so that was okay, but he's not got the best of exits. Side by side, down towards the S's. We've seen this done before, but you've got to be brave. Are we going to see any brake lights come on? We don't. It's flat out then. Johnson on the inside, but which will give him Hansey the inside for the second part, and he is there from the inside for Barcroft. Is Jordan Johnson going to try and hang this out round the outside? No, that's not going to work. Ben Hansey's done it then. He left it to the last lap, but that had to be a pretty committed move. He tried it at Tower, that didn't work. It did come 2 corners later, but it's not over yet, Ian.
It's not, but it was a really good example of he just kept his powder dry. He's not tried anything really through the whole race, knowing that he probably didn't want to get drawn into battles, but he's made a mistake there. He's massively sideways, and he clonks into the side of Jordan Johnson now. He's off over the grass. Hansy's out of shape, locked up, and it's going to be Oak Richardson that comes through. It's like Sports 1000 all over again, because Oak Richardson is going to come through from 3rd place here. Jordan Johnson's stuck on the wet grass and is just about getting off it now. So it's going to be Oak Richardson, number 17, that comes through to win round 1 of the 5 Club MX5 Cup. Ben Hansey it is that's going to be there in 2nd place, 2.35 seconds behind. Scott Leach will be 3rd, Tom Holland 4th, Ian Tomlinson 5th, Jordan Johnson 6th in the end after that late drama. But it was the moment that started it there was for Ben Hansey. It's just unfortunate really that he then caught up the man that had been leading for so long, Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, that's right. And Oak Richardson, I'm trying to think whether he would have won a race elsewhere before, but certainly his first win in the 5 Club Racing Championship. So he was always close, wasn't he? And he was close enough if the top 2 made a mistake, and that's what happened. There's some battles towards the end of the field. That's Matthew Short trying to recover. Andrew Robinson just ahead of him as they come up across the line. But yeah, again, you just sort of had to wait for it all to come alive, and on the last lap it did. And we had 3 different leaders, didn't we, on that last lap?
We did.
Jordan Johnson initially, then Ben Hansey, and Oak Richardson only led a corner of the race, but that was the corner that mattered. If you look at the results of this race, it'd look a bit dull on paper, wouldn't it?
Well, let's do exactly that now. Oak Richardson it was that took the win in car number 17 from number 40, Ben Hansey in 2nd place, 2.35 seconds the gap between them. Scott Leach, number 13, took 3rd. 8.05 seconds behind the winner. Then 4th was number 230, Tom Holland. 5th, number 9, Ian Tomlinson. 6th was 92, Jordan Johnson. After he was off on the grass at the complex, having had a bit of a nerf from Ben Hansey, who was recovering. 7th was 50, Christian Young. 8th to number 32, Jake Micklewright. 9th was number 21, Matthew Pennefather Neal. 10th, 22, Adrian Johnson. 11th, number 99, Martin Vernon. 12th was 27, David Brown. 13th, Mary Barnard in number 29, and 14th was 128, Samuel Gormer. And the rest of the field had Nico Favo 15th, Andrew Robinson 16th, then Matthew Short, Philip Barrett, Martina Ward, and Adan Wardley. So that was the Switch MX5 Cup by 5 Club. 2 more races for them to come tomorrow, and 2 more races hopefully to come this evening here as well, with the Tequila Type R Trophy and the Race Parts Historic 750 Formula to come up next, and we'll have the cars released out onto the circuit for those very shortly indeed. Of course, we do get a green flag lap for the Type R Trophy as well, so hopefully we'll be able to hear a little bit more from all of the top 3 with Chris.
Well, there must be something in the air at Croft at the moment, because we've had another hugely dramatic finish, and the result of it is this man, Oak Richardson, there he go, has come out on top. I mean,
Thanks, man.
what must have been going through your mind on that last lap when you saw Ben and Jordan go off?
I just thought, oh dear. No, it was, really, really happy. Just wasn't expecting them to take each other off, so when it opened up, I gave them a thumbs up and off I went. So.
I mean, fantastic stuff, and it looked like a battle that was really brewing as well. It was building up to that moment. Did you think you might be able to get in there at some point?
Well, as soon as they started battling on the last lap, I thought there's a chance, and then they kept getting closer and closer and closer, and then they sent each other off. So that up to them.
I mean, crazy stuff. Congratulations to you. Of course, you kept it neat and tidy and took the win. So congratulations to you. We'll see you back out in the rest. Oh, go for it, mate.
My dad's watching this. He's stuck in hospital at the moment. He's very, very ill, and I'm really glad that he's got to see me win a race. So just happy. Yeah. Just want to say hello, Dad, and all my family.
That's nice. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed watching this boy take a win today. That was great stuff. Let's go and talk to Ben Hansey. Ben, what happened out there?
Firstly, I have to say big apologies to Jordan. That was entirely my fault. We kind of worked together at the start of the race, and I was just waiting for that last lap board, and and was going to put a move on once I knew I'd kind of gap these two guys. Jordan drove really fair and hard, and I just lost control as we come into the complex and tagged him, and that's entirely my fault.
It seemed like that battle, it was really brilliant. It seemed like you were waiting for your moment, trying to gap the cars behind.
Jordan's got really strong, and I knew that if we were fighting together for the rest of the race, it would bring these other two guys in. So I had to bide my time, and I put a good mood on him, and he just kept fighting, and I just lost control of the car.
Well, look, you got 2 more races this weekend to make up for it, so hopefully we'll see you back in Parc Fermé a little bit later. But let's very quickly, because the Type Rs are already on their way to the grid, so let's go and talk to Scott. I mean, that must have been a bit of a surprise, ended up on the podium.
It was a big surprise. I was quite lonely sitting there in 4th, and then the next thing come round on the last lap, yellow flags out, come round the corner, and there was the leader stuck on the left-hand side. So I couldn't believe it. I'll take 3rd.
How was your race other than that?
Like I say, it was pretty lonely. I was just kept space. I tried to keep with the top 3, but they slowly pulled away. I missed a gear coming out of one corner, and then they got away from me, lost the toe, and I was just basically lonely in 4th then. So.
Of course, there's other opportunities. The reverse grids are coming up as well a little bit later, so there's more chances to mix things up.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not that far behind them. Incidents like that, I could get high up of the grid. Perfect.
All right, well, we wish you all the best in that. Ian, Josh, let's go back up to you, because coming up next, it's the 2nd race of the day for the Tequila Type R Trophy.